You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Here we go! Whoa. Yo! Welcome back to the show. Beef Vegan Presents live at Rock 102.1 KFMA. I'm just spazzing out, Rico. Don't mind me. Woo!
It's a good start.
Yeah, I think I got myself dizzy and gave myself a little aneurysm.
Don't pass out. I don't know what buttons to push.
Oh, no. That's fine. You'll figure it out. You know, dead air is a great, emergency signal. I think, so if you don't know what buttons to push, that's good. People would rush in the studio and be like, why isn't there anything on the air? Why is it just Rico crying for 5 minutes?
And heavy breathing.
Yes. No, but I'm fine. I'm better than a Rialto race track horse. I'll tell you that much right now.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm coming out swinging.
We got horse drama?
We kind of do have horse drama, which is kind of disappointing. It's extremely disappointing because 4 horses died at the Rialto racetrack's opening weekend.
What?
This last weekend. Yes, 4. And this is according to park management, and it's still developing this story, but very odd. Not a good opening weekend, I would say. But 2 horses broke down after the race. One was involved in a collision and died, and one died due to natural causes. So, okay, you got one. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Natural causes, circle of life. Not all horses live forever. In fact, here's a fun fact. None of them do. Yeah, no, I know. A lot of people don't know that.
Good to know.
But 4 in the opening weekend. So I don't know what they're doing to the track, but they say they're continuing to work on the track. I feel like they still need a little more work on their track or hydration stations. I don't know. I'm no horse expert. I just know that seems like a bad weekend.
Right?
Yeah. You start off with the 10 horses in the race and there's, 6 left at the end of the race and you bet on the 4 that died. You're feeling like a sucker. So you're not like going to race back to the racetrack. Yeah, so that's odd. That's
keep an eye out for somebody that owns a glue factory there. a little sketchy.
Look at that little conspiracy theory. Your internet is showing this morning. Let's talk about this. Now, we had the Super Bowl halftime show. I was arguing that it could have been the biggest halftime show of all time, and it was a rousing success by all measures. But one way that it was very successful that nobody saw coming was the FCC complaints. Okay, so the Super Bowl halftime show with Dr. Dre, Eminem kneeling, gasp, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, they amassed 33 FCC complaints.
Did Snoop Dogg show a nipple?
No, it was only 33. That's a low number, Rico, and I'll give you an example. Because in 2020, there was 1,300 FCC complaints.
What?
1,300 for Shakira and J-Lo because they were dressed provocatively and dancing like quote-unquote strippers. This was middle America housewives complaining that their husbands were too aroused during the Super Bowl halftime show.
2 Latinas and some confetti.
Yes.
Watch out.
That was what was offensive to middle America to cause 1,300 complaints to the FCC in 2020. Then you get literally the gangster rap of Mount Rushmore to perform at the Super Bowl and only 33 complaints. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's
progress.
Yeah. That's because Snoop Dogg didn't twerk. If Snoop Dogg would have twerked, then it would have been at least double that. But so that's more good news for the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl halftime show and everyone involved. Only 33 complaints. That's unheard of.
Amazing.
That's the lowest I think it's been in the last 20 years since Nipplegate with Janet Jackson. So that's good news.
Well, good job, guys. I'm proud of you.
Who are you saying that to?
Snoop Dogg. He's listening.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we got a lot of stuff going on today. It's Thursday. So first and foremost, Greta Van Fleet is coming to town in November. We announced that earlier this week. Today only, there's a special KFMA pre-sale. You can go to KFMA.com, click on the Greta Van Fleet tile, then go to the ticket link and enter the code SHOWTIME. Showtime is the code to get your pre-sale tickets for Greta Van Fleet. I hear that show is selling very, very well, so you want to go get your pre-sale before it sells out. Now, all next week, I'm going to be giving away tickets for Greta Van Fleet as well, so if you want to try to hold out and feel like you're going to get lucky, you could do that. But if you don't want to be left outside because this show looks like it's going to sell out, then you might want to go to KFMA.com right now, enter the code SHOWTIME to get your special KFMA pre-sale tickets today. So we have that going on. Also, it's Thursday, so we'll have news for noobs. I have tickets to give away for Smashing Pumpkins and Tucson Tattoo Expo. All that and so much more. I don't know, Nick. You tell me. Do I still have my pink jersey?
Bum, bum, bum.
Don, don, don. Let me say good morning to you. Get in here, Spears. Go ahead and get all set up. All right. Welcome to the podcast broadcast. Yes, I do have this pink jersey for now. Kristin's was supposed to be in. And I think she forgot, but we have Justin Spears getting set up as we speak. Because we're going to talk some sports ball. We're going to talk U of A basketball. We're going to ask what the hell is the USFL. We have a bunch of things that we're going to cover here, plus other random topics. And, of course, Spears is late. And this will be the last time that we see Spears for the entire month of March because he'll be covering March Madness, and he's going to be super busy.
He's gonna be busy.
Yeah. So we might pop in with him via satellite if he goes on the road or whatever the case. But, yeah, check out this jersey, this Bret the Hitman Hart-style jersey. Now, I got in trouble because they told me when I got this jersey that I was supposed to return it after the weekend. So it was Cancer Awareness Weekend for the Tucson Roadrunners, and all the fans that came out supported people and loved ones that were fighting cancer. And so they made these specialty jerseys, which they do every year. This was the first year they had this kind of color scheme, and it just looks really good. And it's hard to tell on the stream, the different colors and layers here, but trust me, it's dope. So they said, hey, you can wear this for Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, I should say. But you have to give it back after Sunday's game. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And they're like, no, but you do have to return this jersey after Sunday's game. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I won't purposely forget. And then I purposely forgot. So, because I wanted it, you know?
You're a thief in the night, Beef.
I'm I didn't want to steal it. I just wanted to borrow it forever, right? And I work hard for the Roadrunners. I feel like I deserve a free jersey. I should have my name on the back of this thing, but they didn't give me my own customized jersey, and that's kind of a bunk deal. But I wasn't mad about it. I just wanted to borrow this jersey and wear it.
I wasn't mad. I just took it into my own hands.
Right. So then Kristin sends me a text message the other day, and she's like, hey, will you drop that jersey off?
What jersey?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you remember that, huh? I was hoping that you would not remember, and it would just get lost in the shuffle. And unfortunately, yeah. So I got caught by my boss attempting to steal this jersey, this very nice jersey, and it's a legit jersey too. This is how you know a jersey's legit. If in the back of the jersey it has one of those straps that's supposed to go into your pants. I never played hockey.
Oh, is that how you tell?
Yeah. So there's a strap in the back here. So this is an actual jersey that players can wear while they're playing on the ice in the AHL or the NHL. Yeah. These aren't one of those fan knockoff jerseys.
So you're always strapped.
I'm always strapped. I am. Super dope, right? And so Kristin was supposed to come in. I was like, well, you can get it when you come in on Thursday. Because, why should I go out of my way
to return what I stole? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
So this was America.
Yeah. So maybe she didn't come in because she's mad at me because I confessed to stealing, and I'm like, what's the big deal?
Or she's being held by security right now because she came in mad. Where is he?
Yeah. Well, you guys know Kristin. You don't want to make her mad.
Oh, no.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's a firecracker of a lady. All right. So we got about 40 seconds. How you doing, Spears?
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
It's a good time of year.
Yeah. It's the best time of year for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially since you cover U of A sports and with the Wildcats, both men and women, doing so well this season. It's been an exciting time to cover them, right?
Yeah, it's fun, and it's officially postseason for the women's team. They got a Pac-12 tournament game today, and then men's wrapping up the regular season, and then it's March Madness.
Yeah, they have a game today and a game on Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Against Stanford and Cal.
Nice.
Easy wins. Should be pretty easy for them.
Don't jinx us, you son of a bitch. Hold on a second. Let's do a tease.
I feel confident.
Yeah, we've seen your confidence on the stream before. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the podcast broadcast, the only podcast that is live on the radio. Joining us is ESPN Radio's Justin Spears. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning, guys.
Coming up after POD, we're going to be talking all things U of A Wildcats basketball because the women's basketball team are officially into the postseason. The men have 2 games of wrapping up their season, which they've been killing it. We're going to talk about their season and what to look forward to for March Madness, where they're going to line up, and what their chances are to win the whole goddamn thing. Woo. Which, fingers crossed all the way across, as long as Spears doesn't jinx things. So we're going to break that down after POD's alive. So keep it right here, Rock 102.1 KFMA, or join us on the stream, youtube.com/beefvegan, or the Rock 102.1 Facebook page. It's a podcast broadcast. Let's go. Clear. You like my little let's go?
I like it.
You can work on that. I feel like every morning you wake up and you have to try. Let's go. Try again. Let's go.
Yeah. Yo, let's go.
Yo.
So Todd doesn't like the tournaments because his job is to literally record and notch every single shot, every pass, like every single stat that coaches use in all sports.
Wow.
Yeah. The statisticians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a company that records every single game and then breaks it down for the science and the math of it. And he is behind that. And he has to literally be up in the morning recording
Todd
and
does
watching.
That.
Yes.
Really?
Every single game. Yeah. He has people working for him. Gimp the Pimp works for him. You guys haven't met Gimp yet, but I love Gimp the Pimp. You will meet Gimp here eventually. And Gimp used to do the show with me back in the day. And she now works with, or they now work with Todd. So, yeah, Synergy Sports is the company.
Synergy Sports.
Okay. So all of those stats,
man.
Every single breakdown, you're like, how do they get all this stuff? There's actual companies that track it, and that's what it does. He's busy all year round.
Human being does that, not an algorithm.
That sounds like such a time-consuming, tedious job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So props to you, brother.
How many sweat drops?
No, I like how you're like, oh, that's that job sounds like it sucks so bad. Props to you. He does well. He does well for the shit that he puts himself through. But at least he gets it.
Well, a job like that for sure. I'm sure you're doing well because it's time consuming.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, but at least he's up on sports, all sports.
Yeah.
Probably has a leading edge on bets too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm sure he's making a killing on sports gambling.
I don't think he is.
He's too busy.
We'll pop him in on the podcast broadcast stream if he has a moment a little bit later on.
You know who is killing it? My freaking mom.
Yeah?
She's on the apps and she's like one of those, you have those friends that do fantasy sports and they don't know anything about sports, but they still get in on it by picking randomly names and they end up winning the pot. And everybody gets all mad, kind of the same thing with her. She's like, yeah, I like that team. I like this one. That guy sounds cool. I've heard him on ESPN. And the next thing you know, she has I just won, $200 off $20 on the app. I'm like, I'm just gonna follow her lead.
Yeah.
Everything she's doing has been winning lately. I'm just like,
well,
what?
When you won at the casino, you were with your mom. I mean, your mom knows how to win in gambling.
She's the anti-cooler.
She's the anti-cooler. She's the warmer.
She's the heater.
The heater. Okay. See, look at that. That's why we have you in.
She's the heater.
Are you going to be going to the tournament as well? And where's it at? Is it in Vegas?
Yeah, so I'll be at Pac-12 tournament next week in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena.
Okay, so it's Pac-12 tournament, and U of A Wildcats are in that as well?
Yep, they are officially the number 1 seed because they won the Pac-12 Championship against USC the other night. So they're the number 1 seed. They will be playing the noon game on Thursday. And I think they're the early game once again on Friday. Then
all right, let's get on here. Let's see.
Saturday championship.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're hanging out with ESPN Sports Radio's Justin Spears. You could hear him on ESPN Radio 104.9 and 1490 AM right here in town with Spears and Ali. And that's weekdays 3 to 6. And of course, we're talking U of A basketball because the Wildcats have been having a historic season. Am I right when I say historic, Justin?
This is very historic because in Tommy Lloyd's first season, the Wildcats are Pac-12 champs.
Yeah.
Tommy Lloyd becomes the first Pac-12 head coach since Steve Lavin in 1997 to win a Pac-12 championship in their first season. Something else happened in 1997, as you all know. Arizona cut down the nets.
Yes.
Now I'm not saying Arizona's going to, win a national championship, but man, their A game is the best A game in college basketball, man. This is such a fun team to watch.
It is. Amazing. And they're like the heart attack team too, because, you also see them, what they'll do is in the second half, they'll make it real close. Yeah. And then you're like, oh no, they might lose this one, and then they'll come back and they'll win by like 20. And it's like, oh, you son of a bitch! You guys, you do it every time. They've done that so many times this season. It's been very exciting basketball to watch.
Yeah,
and Tommy Lloyd, man, again, when he was coming in here, his sole reputation was he was the best at scouting. He was going to go out and get the best players. They didn't necessarily give him credit as a coach, but he turned this program around, like a 180 in a year. Yeah. It's unheard of, right?
Well, the expectations were they were going to be a middle of the pack team. They were going to be fourth in the Pac-12, and now here we are talking about them being Pac-12 champs. It's guys that Sean Miller coached, like the starting five or the Sean Miller nucleus that was left behind, but then he added guys to the bench like Pella Larson, Umar Ballo, and Justin Kier, and every guy knows their role and is doing it well. They know what they need to do to make this team successful. Everybody's playing their part correctly, and it's literally every time I watch Arizona basketball, it's like watching poetry in motion. It's like watching San Antonio Spurs, Golden State Warriors basketball at the college basketball level.
Do you think, and you don't have to answer this because you might have a personal relationship with Sean Miller. Do you think he's sitting at home stewing? This is almost like watching your ex-girlfriend move on to the next guy, and this next guy is like amazing, and she is just having like the best time ever. Yeah. I mean, doesn't that kind of have to feel like that for Sean Miller? It's like, these are my guys, and you turn my guys into champions.
This is exactly what happened in Golden State. Mark Jackson got canned. Steve Kerr takes over. Boom. All of a sudden, the dynasty starts. Now, Sean Miller is a very positive guy. He loves Tommy Lloyd. He likes the job that he's doing. He's been on several platforms and has praised Tommy Lloyd. So he's happy for his guys right now.
That's the best way to say. I mean, I would praise my ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend too. Like, yeah, he's a great guy. But then as soon as the door shuts, be like, I hate that guy. I hope he gets hit by a car. So, I'm sure secretly there's a little bit of resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to start. They are Pac-12 champions, which is fantastic. It's already one accolade down. The Pac-12 championship is happening in Vegas, and it starts next Thursday, correct?
Yes. So
they're the number one seed?
They're the number one seed.
Yeah. Nice. And so, and it just looks like they are going to be the hands down favorite to win this whole tournament, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But man, the thing about Pac-12 tournament is that for some of these teams, this is the only chance that they have to get into the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So it's turned up a notch. And when you're the number one seed, when you're the champion in a team like Arizona, you're going to get everybody's best game.
Yes. Yeah. They're gunning for them, and they're definitely preparing for the U of A Wildcats more so than anyone else that they're going to face in this tournament, just so they can move on to the NCAA bracket, which is going to be happening in a couple weeks here, right?
Yeah. And I think Arizona secured a number one seed. I think they're going to be a number one seed either in the Midwest or the South region. If they're the Midwest and the South, then they will be playing the first round at San Diego and then the second round in San Antonio. Or the Sweet 16 Elite Eight in San Antonio.
Right.
And then that Final Four in New Orleans. So
I love it. It's so many things to be excited about. When basketball is great in this town, the town is electric.
Oh, for sure.
We're going to continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast stream, talk about Dia Barnes and her Wildcats as they prepare for their postseason and so much more. So keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right. So with the Dia Barnes and their season, what did they end up finishing at?
Well, they have the number 4 seed in the Pac-12 tournament, and they will play Colorado, which beat Washington yesterday. So the Wildcats were able to secure that first round bye, but now they got a game against a pretty tough Colorado team that gave Arizona some problems earlier this year. I'm wondering what's the status with star forward Kate Reese. She went out with a season-ending shoulder injury. Not sure what her status is for today. They're actually be playing here in the next few hours.
Yeah.
So it's an early game for them. But Arizona right now, they're trying to secure a first-round matchup at McHale Center. Because remember, the women's tournaments, they actually host.
Yeah.
So if Arizona is a top 4 seed, then McHale Center is going to be hosting first round of the women's NCAA tournament, which the program has never done.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
And just another sold-out game for McHale Center.
Yeah, and they could have done it in 1920, but COVID happened during the Pac-12 tournament, right before the NCAA tournament. So they were unable to do
you
that.
mean 2020?
Yeah, 2020. Yes.
Okay,
The 1920 season.
Oh, yeah.
That year, everything got shut down.
I was like, why are we talking about 100 years ago, Spears?
No, not 1920. But then 2020-21 happened. Well, they couldn't host because they had to go to the bubble in San Antonio. Yeah. So now this year is finally the opportunity for Adia Barnes and her program to host the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Damn, man.
It's probably going to happen.
Now, I got a comment here from Rick saying Adia Barnes should be coach of both men's and women's team. Well, I would say that like last year, I would agree with you. Not this year. I mean, because Tommy Lloyd has proven that he is more than capable and could be the rightful heir to one legendary Lou Olson.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, we'll see. But Tommy said he always put U of A up on a pedestal as a place to go to, and to come here right off the bat and to accomplish historic things. And he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And why would he ever leave? He could ride out the rest of his days here if he continues to win and enjoy his life and quality of life here.
Well, Tommy Lloyd loves being in a small town. He grew up in Kelso, Washington.
Okay.
Super small in Eastern Washington, kind of in that Spokane area. The only place I would see him leave Arizona for is to go back home and coach Gonzaga because it's his hometown team. They want to make him the successor to Mark Few. And if Gonzaga just throws him the bag, it's like, hey, you've done well enough at Arizona. We're going to give you a blank check, and you're going to be winning a lot of basketball games here at Gonzaga. That's the only type of situation. Other than that, Tommy Lloyd's a lifer at Arizona.
How many more years on Gonzaga's coach does the contract have? Like, is he locked in for a while, or how old is he right now?
Well, Mark Few.
Yeah, Mark Few.
That's a really good question. How old he is? Mark Few's age he's 59 years old.
Oh, so he has in basketball years. That's forever. Coach K is just retiring this year, and he's like. He looks young, but I think he's 102.
Yeah, so Lou got into his 70s before he decided to call it quits. So,
right? Yeah, wow. No,
Mark Few's got a little bit.
Yeah, old guys love coaching basketball. So so he has at least another decade or so that he's going to be coaching because he wants to collect that money as well, right?
Yeah, but you know what? If Tommy Lloyd going to Gonzaga in 10 years means him winning a couple national championships, I think Arizona fans would take that.
Absolutely.
They take that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And Tucson's not that small of a town either, though. I like to say that. I don't like to think it's a small town.
No, and that's why he said Arizona's perfect. Yeah. Because it's premier basketball. It's the best of the best in college basketball, but it's in Tucson, Arizona. It still gives you that small town feel. That's why he said if there was any place that I would leave Gonzaga for, it was the University of Arizona. That's it.
Nice.
The only place.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it's a fun time, man. March in Tucson, as you know, Beef, man, it's when college basketball is buzzing, there's just a certain feel around Tucson, Arizona.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. Have you been getting hooked up? Are you getting into these games? You going into the press box? You're a legitimate sports media source here in town with the Arizona Daily
Star.
Yeah, Arizona Daily Star and ESPN Radio. Mm-hmm. So you got the credentials. Are you able to go all these games because you're like covering it?
Yeah, I'll be in Vegas next week.
Nice. Are you paying for that or
no? The Stars.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is how it's done. Man.
Yeah.
Boys climbing.
Yeah.
Right. I hope Arizona Lotus is taking note because I want to cover things too. I want to cover all types of music festivals. Fly me out there. I got to cover it. I'm reporting.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you could actually show like you're producing content, and when we go out on the road and we're doing stories for the tournament, I mean, we're pumping out content after content, story, podcast, videos. It's nonstop.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Stars getting their money's worth for sure.
Yeah, I can't show the results, but I can show a good time. But yeah, that should be fun. Where are you staying at in Vegas?
New York.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a good place
right next to T-Mobile Arena.
Oh yeah, walking distance.
Boom.
Yeah, I love Las Vegas, man.
Do you like to gamble?
Yeah.
It's I go and play roulette.
Ridiculous.
But I put down $40, and if I lose that $40, I walk back to my hotel with my head down.
Do you
really
go
disappointed?
Do you bet a number straight up or no?
No.
Okay.
I always do like black, red.
Those are ridiculous. All right, listen to me. I got to help you out here. Okay, so I do beef tips for Desert Diamond Casino. I know how to deal all these games. I've dealt for over 10,000 hours on every game. So here's the most common mistake people make when betting roulette. Okay, every bet has a payout, right? The bigger the odds, the bigger the payout. Meaning that the longer the shot, the bigger the payout. So if you bet a number straight up, you're going to get paid 35 to 1. Okay. Obviously, that's a big payday. If you bet a $5 bet, you're going to get $175. That's huge. But of course, statistically, it's unlikely. The biggest mistake people make is they spread their bets out too thin, meaning they don't, even if they do hit, they're not going to get their money back. Right. So say a bet pays you 4 to 1.
Okay.
Right. And there are several bets out there that pay 4 to 1. If you bet, say, I want to say like a row of 6. If you get bet, a lot of people bet 5 bets down, 5 increments of 5, on 4 to 1 bets. So then they hit once and they get paid back. They're still down an increment. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you really, when you're betting red, you're betting black, you're betting, these are 1-to-1s. So you lose, you're just paying even money. You don't play that game to play even money. The key to roulette is to try to spread the board while getting your payouts. And there's 2 bets that I would suggest. One is the 17-to-1 bets. That's when you're putting the chip in between 2 numbers. So you're covering 2 numbers. Now, if you put 3 different bets down, now you have 6 numbers all paying 17 to 1. Okay. So then if any of those hit, you're still basically getting 17 to the 3, which is a bigger payout than say even money when you're just covering black or red. And when you black or red's not even a 50-50 bet. It's 48% because you got to keep in mind 0 and 00 with the green, and that's how they get you.
Yeah.
Right. So spreading your bet and knowing what the payouts are to make sure you're getting back at least over double your money. All right. So the 11-to-1 bets, the 6-to-5 or 6-to-1s, those are bets that you want to look into. And then if you're betting 6-to-1 bets, doing 2 of those.
I used to be the guy that did, black or red or even odd, thinking I was clever. Like, the 50-50 chance. Yeah. And then I got kicked in the dick way too many times.
100%.
Did the spread. I'm going to get the numbers. And I'm always sitting next to that drunk lady that just picks the one number randomly and then hits it. And I'm like, what the hell?
And that's what was so I was so taken aback because at the last time we were in Vegas, the table we were at, people would just show up, sit down, be like, okay, 32.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden 32 hits.
Like,
and then they take their chips and they go over to the next table. And I'm like, I gotta follow these people.
Right.
They know how to do it.
Yeah. I have a buddy, they don't. They just got extremely lucky. But I have a buddy who, whenever he goes to Vegas, that's the first thing he does. He walks up to the roulette table. He'll put $100 down on his number. If the number hits, he's going to have a great weekend. And if it doesn't, he just moves on. And still strive to have a decent weekend. But he knows, like, he has had opportunities or situations where he went in, did $100 on like 17, get $3,200, and then just use that $3,200 as play money. And yeah, that's a great time if you do that.
Oh yeah.
But it's a gamble and it's like winning the lottery, and odds are greatly against you. But if you really want to play a game that is fair, that you can win money off of, then you have to learn how to play craps.
That's right.
Craps is the game.
Craps
is the only game.
You don't do craps?
No, I do. I play craps.
I love
before,
craps.
Yeah, craps is the only game where you can bet as the house. So there's, for every bet you make on the craps table, there's an opposite bet. And it just goes to show you. So statistically speaking, you got like a 50-50 shot of walking away with money at the craps table as opposed to everything else. It's really slightly against you, even blackjack. But blackjack's an easy game as well. Roulette is one of those games that you're least likely to make money off of.
I get smoked in blackjack.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on that.
Yeah. When I lost $60 in like 20 minutes playing blackjack, that's when I was like, okay.
When I went with Beef to the casino last time, he's like, let me show you how it's done, Rico. You got to split the deck. You got to do this and this. You got to spin around 3 times, and he lost 2 times in a row. I'm like, okay.
That's how you lose.
Cool.
I still know how to lose. That's for sure. All right, 7 seconds. Yeah. It was Rico's fault. He's a cooler.
You're a cooler, Rico.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Still hanging out with Justin Spears from ESPN Radio, talking sports and gambling. Good things. The MLB, the Major League Baseball strike, is still in effect. Is it not, Justin?
Yeah, it's still going on.
Now, what is the deal? Are we not going to be able to get spring training here in Arizona this year?
I don't think we're getting spring training. And
this is devastating. We just didn't have spring training because of COVID. We just now got it back. Arizona was ready to start raging for like 2 weeks straight. It is a great time, perfect time of year, and people look forward to it, and this is frustrating. So this is why I don't like baseball. Continue. Why are we not having a season this year?
So there's ongoing discussions between Major League Baseball Players Association and Major League Baseball about increase in pay, right? They're trying to get a new collective bargaining agreement. And this is the first time they've experienced a lockout like this since 1994.
I know.
Wow.
And that was the year that I stopped giving a crap about baseball.
Yeah.
Legitimately, I grew up loving baseball, was, playing Little League, collecting cards. I was diehard. I would watch games beginning to end, even the slow games. And it was so exciting to me. Then the strike happened and it broke my heart because they just seemed greedy.
Yeah.
As an adult, I kind of understand the strike a little bit more, but I never fell back in love with baseball because of it. And it seems like they're doing it all over again to ruin a whole nother generation.
Yeah. And a lot of, I've heard that too. I've heard a lot of younger people, a lot of the younger generation, they're kind of turned off by the way, baseball has been handling this.
Right.
And Rob Manfred, the Major League Baseball commissioner, announced earlier this week that at least the first two series of the season will be canceled. So at best, baseball is going to have a 156 game season. I don't know what they're going to do with spring training because Rob Manfred did say that every team needs at least 4 weeks to prepare for the upcoming season. So
right.
I don't know what they're going to do there. But I mean, the more this continues, the more, we're going to have a shortened Major League Baseball season. And one thing that was just so, mind-boggling to me is that the location where they were meeting at, Rob Manfred was caught working on his golf swing.
Right.
He was like, actually had a golf club in his hand, was like practicing his swing.
So he's just like, yeah, we're not doing it.
I'm like,
this
is where you're meeting and with all the players and you're practicing your golf swing.
Great optics, bro.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Solid look. Especially
in a day and age right now where economically so many people are suffering. So when they hear about the baseball players asking for more money, you're going to get a lack of empathy, to say the very least. It's also hard to empathize with Major League Baseball players about money when some of these contracts are being, spewed out. Like Max Scherzer. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Scherzer.
For 3 years, he's getting paid $130 million. Robbie Ray, for 5 years, getting paid $115 million. Corey Seager, for 10 years, $325 million. What more do they want? Like, even the lowest end players are still making good money to be in Major League Baseball, especially you're talking about a sport that doesn't sell tickets anymore. Yeah. When you watch a regular season Major League Baseball game, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. I mean, well, the players just want more security with whatever they're earning. They want more guaranteed money. They want just better contracts. And right now the owners are completely shuttering them out and say, okay, well, you guys want this. Well, unfortunately, we can't come to an agreement with these.
Yeah. Because, hey, guys, I don't know if you looked into the stands. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's like me asking a company for $1 million salary, right? No, I'm in radio. We're not making that kind of money. So it'd be unheard of to demand that. So for these players, especially some of them are so grossly overpaid in a sport that is America's fourth favorite sport right now. Right?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of sports that I watch, professional sports, baseball is always kind of near the bottom.
Of course it is.
And obviously this, I don't care about baseball right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All of this is dumb.
Yeah. Well, and George says on the stream, it's not a strike, it's a lockout.
Yeah,
the owners have locked out the players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like, oh, you want to negotiate? That's cool. Go ahead and show up to the clubhouse. Oh, sorry, your keys don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Right. So the death of Major League Baseball. Who would have known? America's pastime. And it died on our watch.
How poetic.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's hit the reset. We'll continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast stream and be back with more Beef Vegan Presents right after the break.
Baseball's
Clear.
not dead.
Hey, baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, seriously.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm a Dodger fan.
You talk about sports that are better than baseball right now. Obviously, you're going to say NFL, NBA, and those two right off the bat. UFC, absolutely. There's a big fight happening this weekend in the UFC. Are you not a UFC fan, Spears?
Oh, I love UFC.
Right. So
I'm not like avid follower or watcher, but I like UFC.
You like the storyline going into this Saturday's main event?
Colby Covington and
Jorge
Masvidal.
Masvidal, yes.
Epic.
Yeah. Have you been following along that storyline, Rico?
Not too much, but
What's
I know
the
the contention.
Here's the beef. They go way back, right? They go way back into, the early training days, and they trained in the same gym. And at one point, Kobe even was crashing on their couch, Jorge's couch. Okay. Now, Kobe just said in a presser that he's like, let's get it right. I wasn't sleeping on Jorge's couch. I was sleeping on his wife's couch because Jorge was a bum. The bad blood between these two has been going back years, and Kobe has always been saying that Jorge's been ducking him, even though they've been talking shit and haven't been making and purposely not making this fight happen. Now that Jorge has lost a couple fights, his stock has dropped in the UFC. The only payday he can get is by doing this fight here. It's a fight that people wanted to see for a long time. And so that's Kobe's argument, and I think he's got a little bit of credit behind that. They're both kind of douchey.
Yes.
Kobe plays the villain, the heel, if you will. And I don't even think he's playing. I think he's really generally that big of an asshole. And then Jorge, I don't know what the fuck deal is with this guy. I liked him. I don't necessarily agree with his politics by any means. And he just doesn't make sense. And he is, but he's a flawed character. Yeah. But they both are.
I love the guy who he punched backstage at an event.
Gave him
a fight, a 3-piece and a soda.
Yeah, 3-piece and a soda. That's what put him on the map, honestly. I mean, he was a journeyman leading up to that. Then that video went viral. Then Nate Diaz called him out and said, you know what? I want to fight the real. I want to fight hardcore. I want to fight G's. And everyone else is pussies. But Jorge, yeah, give me that 3-piece. And
of soda.
Yeah, and honestly, Nate Diaz should have won that fight if it wasn't for them calling off the fight because the cut over Nate Diaz's eye. Because I mean, if
he's a bleeder, man.
He is.
That guy's a bleeder.
Well, it just gets cut open so much that if he blinks the wrong way, it cuts open. So
I almost hit him with a car.
Nate Diaz, in California by the Comedy Store.
Yep.
Yeah, tell that story real quick.
He was a frequent there a few years back when I was living in Los Angeles. He was always at the store, And he's like one of the first guys I met in LA. That was after his loss to Connor. I think he was smoking that's when he was smoking after the show and got in trouble for, smoking marijuana on air or whatever. So we're hitting it off and things like that. Then within like a couple months, he's still walking around LA all the time. And I'm driving my car down this hill after work, right on there on Sunset. And I see this his entire entourage just cross the street out of nowhere to slam on my brakes. And like this guy comes out of the crowd. He's like, what the hell? What the fuck, man? I'm like, oh my God, that's Nate Diaz. I'm like, I almost just murdered you and your entire entourage with my Mustang. Like, oh God.
He would have been able to take it and then you would have got your ass kicked.
Oh yeah. That could have been the death of me instantly.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed the Diaz brothers.
He's a party animal, but sweetheart for sure.
Yeah, there's a UFC. I mean, John Jones and Kobe Covington were roommates in college. I did not know that until recently. Yeah. So they go way back too. And it's like, those are 3 marquee names of the USC, and they all go back to their like hungry days, training in the early 2000s.
It's a Hollywood matchup.
Are they all from New Mexico?
I don't know.
I know John Jones is.
Yeah, well, John Jones is, but I think he went to college somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm surprised John Jones went to college, to be honest with you.
Dude, he can't stop messing up. I'm so tired of it.
I watched the cop video John Jones that was released. John Jones freaking out.
It's bad.
It is bad. He's crying. He's emotional. There's an argument for CTE. There's an argument for, mental health disabilities that he might be dealing with, alcoholism for sure.
Yeah.
He was playing the black card, saying he was only being detained because he's black. And that wasn't the case. The police were called on him for assaulting his, wife again, allegedly, but again. And it's sad. And it sucks too, because he was partying, like because he got inducted to the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
Bones Jones.
it was a reason to celebrate for sure, but it wasn't enough, man. It's brutal.
Have you heard about Cain Velasquez?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that today. I was I talked about it on air yesterday, and I was filling Rico in earlier because it's so complicated now. Yeah, he got hit with 10 charges yesterday. And this was after it was revealed the motive behind the shooting. Because at first people were like, what? When did Cain Velasquez just turn into the hitman from Breaking Bad?
Aaron Hernandez.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And of course, that wasn't the case. He does look like the hitman from Breaking Bad, though. The twins.
The brothers.
Cain Velasquez had an axe? Like, what the
little
hell?
skulls on the tip of their shoes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's in
Cain.
San Jose, which I didn't know. And he's been dabbling in professional wrestling. So it's not like he's really hurting for money. He can get paydays places. So it surprised me that he would put himself in this position, but then you find the backstory as to why. And it's because his relative, and we don't know the relation yet, but it's a young relative of his, allegedly was molested up to 100 times by somebody in a daycare center that the relative was going to. Disgusting. Okay. Then the guy gets charged with, these allegations of 100 separate cases of sexual misconduct with a minor. The judge decides to release this dude on bail. Right? That's the big question mark. Be like, dude, this is a serial offender.
How the hell?
Who could possibly have a but a history of this. So we don't know. We'll find out more. But yeah, I mean, this guy should have been in jail, but the judge said, no, we'll release you on bail. And that was enough time for Cain to get street justice and decide it was a good idea to track him down. Now, our argument yesterday was, why not beat his ass, man? You're Cain Velasquez, and yeah, you could probably still get a bunch of charges, but
you would have murdered him either way.
Yeah,
he would have murdered him, and his DNA would be all over him because he just beat the hell out of him. Right. Yeah. I mean, could have, and he probably wouldn't have shown restraint. He was obviously mad enough to kill, but he wouldn't have, hurt an innocent bystander. The stepdad got shot. That's the one that was in the hospital. So the guy who has these allegations against him didn't get shot. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So he basically, the details of this happened was Cain went to the house, kind of rammed his F-250 into the car that the three of them were in. It was the alleged suspect, the stepfather, and the mother. Were all three in the car. He runs in the car, then gets out, starts busting caps into the car. About 8 rounds were shot. And I know this because he had 2 full mags in his car with him when he got pulled over by police. 8 bullets were missing. Wow. So he fires 8 shots, hits the stepfather, then drives off. So that's a mistake right there, right? You're now evading law enforcement. But he's in a big F-250. He's Cain Velasquez, and there's some damage to the front end because he ran into a car. So they easily pull him over. He didn't resist the rest, and if you see his mugshot, he's kind of smirking in it. He's kind of happy for what he did.
Yeah.
He took justice in his own hands. The street law says absolutely kill that motherfucker. Mm-hmm. That's what street law says. But at the same time, unfortunately, there's laws. and Cain Velasquez broke laws. And even with the court of public opinion understanding why, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get him off of these charges.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially because he got the wrong guy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we understand why he was going after this person, but he still shot the person that is the plaintiff.
Yes.
Shot
at
the plaintiff is not the molester. It's the stepdad.
Yep.
So,
but I guess more details are going to come out soon either way.
Yeah, we're going to find out more. But yeah, this is a very it is reminiscent of Aaron Hernandez in a way. Because they kind of look similar, and they're both similar builds, and you could assume that, hey, what we know of CTE so far is that these fits of rage are uncontrollable to some.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you get locked in something so angry and you get triggered by something that obviously is going to make your blood boil, anyone's blood boil.
Eyes go red.
Right.
Yep.
And then you have CTE on top of that. It's a dangerous recipe. So it's unfortunate. Obviously, Cain has Arizona ties. So
Yuma, right?
Yes, Yuma and in Scottsdale. He was a bouncer in Scottsdale. That's what I know. of Cain and recognized Cain from. He was a bouncer at a couple places out there. Loco Patron was one of them. And
of course it was.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him bouncing a Loco Patron.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I did a fundraiser before he blew up there. He was the bouncer at Loco Patron. He was nice. And so it's unfortunate. The whole story is super sad. So
lots going on in UFC.
Yeah, lots going on in UFC. And
speaking of bouncer, another story in LA, Rampage Jackson came up to get in one time. That was terrifying because you're sitting there by yourself with your headpiece in, and he comes up to the place I was working at on Sunset, and he's like, "Hey man," and my buddy's like, "That's Rampage Jackson. He's not allowed in here." I was like, "What? I have to deny a Rampage right now?" He's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like on this list where every time he comes in, he starts shit.
Yeah,
fights and like gets in trouble, and then the cops. But he was like to that point where you're so dangerous and you're so gigantic,
right?
And you're like so used to being denied or told no from certain places, and he was just like, "Okay, have a good night," and just like walked away. And I was like, my life flashed before my eyes. I was
gonna say, how fast was your heart beating?
Fast.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Hi, sir. Unfortunately, we're full to no. We have a list of guests." He's like, "Okay, thank you." Like he was ready for the no.
Right.
Like he just knew he wasn't getting in. I was like, thank God. My head would have been in like 20 feet away in like 5 seconds.
Speaking of which, sorry, Rico, I'm gonna have to take you off the stream here. I just got a text from my girlfriend saying, "Dang, Rico looking so suave." Like what?
What?
Yeah, you're not saying anything about my pink jersey?
Yeah.
Get off his nuts, woman. What the hell's going on?
Expose your chest hair a little bit more, beef.
Oh, I mean, it's there.
You got the hair out. Look at
Spears got it. The taco meat.
Oh, there you go. Show that taco meat. You still been working out there, Spears?
Play that porn music.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Haven't weighed myself in a minute, man, but I feel good.
Nice. Yeah, you're looking good, dude.
Thank you.
My daughter and her counselor hit me up yesterday, and my daughter wants to start going to the gym, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Because I want to go to the gym too, but gyms are expensive, and now I got to do 2 gym memberships. And in my area, there's no good gyms. I have to drive like 5 miles, which in this town is a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This heat.
Yeah. All right. We got 3 seconds. Get back on here. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're talking sports with Justin Spears on the podcast broadcast. Covered all things UFC. Now let's get the hard-hitting questions, okay? You guys ready for this hard-hitting question? And I'm asking you guys on the stream as well to comment. What is a TV show that everyone loves, but you don't? And why? All right. So you can think of the usual suspects. Obviously, there's been lots of popular TV shows out there. I know that if Powers was here, I love Euphoria, and I was talking about Euphoria, and he watched it, and it was a little too grown up for his liking. He hated it, actually. And so I'm asking this question to you guys as, same thing, whether it's an older TV show or a current TV show that everyone's buzzing about.
I think two come to mind when I was growing. This is obviously, it was outside of my generation, but MASH growing up, it was like, MASH was the best show ever. And I'm like, no. But I was 5, so who cared? But Cheers growing up, I'm like, everybody loved Cheers so much. And I was like, I didn't get the appeal.
Yeah.
But
Manny commented, and I agree with Manny on this one, Game of Thrones.
Wrong.
I could not get into Game of Thrones, dude. I mean, when they stopped showing nudity, I was out.
They never stopped showing nudity. What do you mean stopped?
I stopped watching
after 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Sacrilege.
Same thing for you, Spears?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
But everybody talked about Game of Thrones like it was the best thing ever. I'm like, this is dragon porn. What's the big deal?
Dragon porn.
Hey. So, yeah, we got a couple people saying Game of Thrones.
You don't even know.
Mike Beasy throwing it back with Wings. I actually loved Wings. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Friends, both Todd and Nick said Friends. That's one of those shows that kind of brain dead TV.
Excellent.
Yeah. So Spears, you got one?
Everybody loves Raymond.
Oh
yeah.
Everybody but Spears loves Raymond?
Yeah. Everybody but Spears
Raymond?
loves because of that
voice.
The Kermit the Frog voice. the Kermit the Frog Al Michaels voice.
Oh God. Al Michaels.
Oh, now you're just hating. You're just hating.
He's more of a Chris Collingsworth guy.
All right, that's
here's a guy.
If we missed one, give us a call right now, 600 KFMA, the 600-5362. We'll be back with your beef tip right after this. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. I tried to get Kristin on the stream because she forgot, and she's about to head to the office, so I guess I'm going to forget
his jersey again?
To bring this jersey back. Yeah.
Oops. Didn't come to collect.
I did like Cheers back in the day. I tried to rewatch Cheers recently because it's on Netflix. Couldn't get into it.
Cheers and Coach.
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 You didn't like Coach?
No, I love Coach.
Oh, you don't? I was
I
going to
love
say
Coach.
that falls into your wheelhouse.
Yeah, he loves sports.
Yeah.
The guy's a U of A alum too, right? Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
Coach.
sense. He looks like he's a U of A alum. I don't know what that means,
Yeah,
but I'm sticking to it. This morning we had a crazy morning moron I'd like to share with you right about now in case you missed it. Check this out. KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. It's 6:14. Time for your morning moron. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Okay, this one. There's a lot to unpack here. Is a 33-year-old woman in Pennsylvania. Her name is Nicole Chester, and she's facing charges after she got two guys to rob her ex-boyfriend's grave and steal his ashes. Yeah. So,
Okay.
I don't know why she wanted his urn and ashes, but she did. And it was her ex-boyfriend. So it's not like she was with him at the time that he passed away. They broke up before he passed away. Then he passed away and he was cremated, put in an urn, and then, put in the ground. Well, she wanted that urn and she wanted those ashes. It happened last summer. And the family thought Nicole might be involved in it once they found out that the grave was robbed. They're like, oh, it's that crazy tweaker ex-girlfriend for sure.
Wow.
Now, I'm saying tweaker because when she got busted, they found a bunch of weed paraphernalia, a baggie of possible crystal meth residue inside it. And this sounds like a very crystal meth-like story, right?
It's up there in that category for sure.
Absolutely. So she got into some legal trouble a while back while she was still on probation. So police told her probation officer about it, right? So when the probation officer went to go visit her house, they found the urn just sitting on the table. So the probation officer was like, what's this? She's like, nah, it's a vase.
Right.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, why is there a lid on this vase? Why aren't there flowers sticking out of it? What's inside the vase? It was ashes. So that's how she got busted. Now, she was arrested and charged with felony vandalism and receiving stolen property, drugs, and desecration of a grave. All that stuff is a lot.
Yeah.
And the guys who stole the grave haven't been charged with anything or stole the ashes. But they did agree to just rob this grave. And this goes to show.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Well, here's the deal.
Yeah.
This is how I know they were full-fledged tweakers, because tweakers can get anything done, really. If you have tweaker friends, you shouldn't, first off, because that will backfire. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But the one positive about having tweaker friends is that if you need to get something done, they'll do it.
They'll do it.
Yeah. And you're just like, hey, guys, are you high? Yeah, I'm super high. You want to do something? Yeah, I want to do anything. Oh, can you go rob this grave real quick? I'll give you $5. Oh, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Give me that shovel. So,
Max efficiency.
Yeah. So, of course, tweakers robbed a grave. And for Nicole to steal her ex-boyfriend's urn, ashes, and rob his grave makes her a morning moron.
All
right, let's hit the reset. We're going to be back with random facts, so much more. Plus, at 7 o'clock, I'm going to let you know when you're listening for that Smashing Pumpkins song to be caller number 10 to win tickets to see them May 15th at Ave Amphitheater. All that and more coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents, so don't go away. We're back on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're still here. Let me do some headlines here real quick. We're just talking about Larry David's documentary that is not being released on HBO Max right now. But here's a couple of headlines that we've missed so far. We didn't get to today. There was a daycare up in Glendale, Arizona, which is where I'm from, and which makes sense when I come across this story. Well, this daycare, they had 6 to 8 toddlers, and they don't even have an accurate count, which is scary in its own right. 6 to 8 toddlers escaped from that daycare. It happened on Monday. They were spotted by drivers on the street out front of the daycare, and apparently they got through an unsecured gate at the daycare and somehow trapped the adults inside. Now, if you're thinking like, what?
Heist movie, Ocean's 11 style.
Right. Like how would this happen, and how can this happen, and why? Well, the daycare was called Happy Days with a Z. And this is what happens when you when you take your kids to a daycare that's named on the streets, right? Happy days.
Happy days.
Yeah. This luckily none of the kids were hurt. The cops were quickly responded and let the people out of the daycare who were locked inside. But yeah, 6 to 8 toddlers made a grand escape out.
Kids
in
are
Glendale.
gangster. Damn.
Well, that's Glendale for you.
Yeah.
Like I said, those are the mean streets I was raised on. All right. And then how has pandemic changed your daily habits? That was a question asked globally. And apparently people have changed since pandemic. Like people in Saudi Arabia are sleeping more. I guess they just don't find a desire to be up and about and out in the desert.
I guess.
People in Australia are drinking a lot more. That makes sense with all the restrictions that are implied there in Australia.
Didn't know they could drink more, but okay.
And China, people in China, they're actually doing this smart. They're exercising more. They know how dangerous the disease can be for those who are not in shape. So they started exercising a whole lot more. And people in Mexico are even eating better. Which does that mean they're going low carb tacos? They're doing the taco bowls.
I was going to say eating better in Mexico. Good luck.
Yeah, it's delicious though.
I know.
Yeah, let's see. The taco changed by smoking even more weed. All right. That's how you change. That's
Honesty
good.
is based. Good job.
Have you changed since the pandemic? Either one of you?
Yeah, I'm golfing a lot more.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man. Golf has been awesome for me. It's been, I could just leave the studio, go to the driving range, just whack away at a bunch of golf balls and just clear my head. It's awesome.
An expensive habit to acquire, though. I mean, how much are you spending a month on golf?
But see, I'm playing around once every month and a half, 2 months. Where right now, I go to the driving range about 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay, yeah.
And it's only $7 a bucket. So
right,
$20 a week for golf.
Nice. Yeah. How's your drive looking?
It's getting better, man.
Okay.
We're getting there.
All right.
They're going to Top Golf.
We're letting the big dog eat.
Top Golf's not cheap by any means.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
It is fun. I do love.
And I'm starting to understand. I know. I'm starting to understand golf as I get older, though. I used to make fun of people. I'm like, look at these old guys golfing, trying to escape everything. Now I'm like, they're a genius.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on. We're gonna wrap things up with the beef tip. Thank you guys for watching. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're almost out of time, but as always, per usual, before we wrap things up, I'd like to give you a beef tip. So the last thing that we're going to cover here is that it turns out you're not washing the blankets on your couch nearly enough. Right. So this is going to be lead into a beef tip. Yeah. I mean, first off, I'm sitting here with 2 other dudes. I'm in a relationship, so I have couch blankets. I didn't have couch blankets beforehand. Do either one of you, have you ever had couch blankets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a couch blanket.
Everybody has a couch blanket.
How often do you wash it?
Never.
I'm still waiting for an answer, Spears. You got one?
Once every month or so? Once every 2 months?
Yeah, you thought that would be the correct answer. Well, it's not. It's wrong. You're not washing it enough. They say, experts say, you should wash them every week or so. And the reason why is because these blankets could take a lot of food, dust, pet hair, and bacteria. So if you have couch blankets, my beef tip to you is to wash that nasty ass blanket today because it's filthy.
Okay.
Couch pizza.
Yeah, see? Couch pizza is the best, though.
I know.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. If you're watching the stream, don't forget to drop a reaction, a ha-ha, a heart, an angry face. Doesn't matter. Anything helps. Comment and share and all that good stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page, youtube.com/beefvegan. And don't forget, we also have the KFMA pre-sale happening for Greta Van Fleet. You can go to KFMA.com and use the code word Showtime to get your tickets before they officially go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And Riley will have tickets for you to win for Greta Van Fleet coming up next. So keep it right here on Rock 102.1. Herb Stratford will be in studio tomorrow. I'll continue to give away tickets for Smashing Pumpkins and so much more. So keep it right here. No, don't keep it here. I'm out. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Spears, thank you so much for coming in. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish
got a little lost in the sauce there, Spears.
Yeah,
don't do what I do. It happens.
And to all
Hey,
your
guys.
grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.